Back like we never left, here we are, One Piece chapter 1010, Conquers Haki. We support the official translations over here, so we use both translations. However, you know how we do it, okay? And so like we do every week, we break down all the specifics of the chapter. We go in depth, but we'll have specific videos for truly in-depth things, right? But I guess we can talk about a cover page, putting here with some of our favorites from Whole Cake Island, especially Arabian, right? And putting eye drops into her eyes. Maybe she's crying about Sanji or Big Mom just beat her ass. We're not sure. However, it's a lot to talk about in the chapter, so let's get to it. So something we got to focus on and hone in on here is Big Mom and the turmoil she's going through with her homies, right? Of course, everything is transpiring because of what Zoro, Law, and Kid Killer did to incapacitate her. And they're right. Prometheus and Big Mom are right. Zeus is always a problem, even though this time it's not necessarily his fault. He was caught off guard. He didn't want to get trapped by a container of this sort, so he was just unfortunate. But based on what's happened from Whole Cake Island all the way up to Wano, remember, Zeus left Big Mom. Zeus was with Nami for the longest, so at this point, Prometheus isn't wrong. He's like, okay, at some point we have to do something. Before we talk about that really quickly, Zoro and Law, like, I'm loving the camaraderie that they're showing right now. After Zoro cut Prometheus again, Law is saying after that attack, I would not be surprised if every bone in his body was broken, right? Kaido and Big Mom, it's been banter back and forth, but now it's becoming more and more prevalent because they're not overwhelming the supernova like they expected to. So Kaido's saying you've become an invalid, Linlin. And I wonder if Kaido knows about Big Mom's struggles with her amnesia. I wonder what Kaido would say if he saw Big Mom in that state. I'm sure a lot of people don't know that about Big Mom because Capone had to infiltrate to even find out about Mother Carmel. So the other Yonko, I doubt they know that Big Mom can be incapacitated by something so simple. So that's something to look out for. That will come back up again because the amnesia plot line is inevitable. So now Luffy's knocked out, or so we thought, and we have Kaido versus Law and Zoro. Law continues to show why he's so valuable. With the wide range of abilities and how much he can do, he's the perfect support. And if I'm in a major fight versus two Yonko, that's somebody I would want supporting me and watching my back at every turn. Law has saved them so many different times, saved their life actually, and this is another time that he did it because Zoro was not getting out of the way, or rather avoiding Kaido. At this point, he's too hurt. Injection shot. I had to come to terms with why this would work, but when you think about Law's powers, he's a surgeon. And Kaido's form, this form seems to be a bit more susceptible. And I just gotta mention, by the way, the hybrid form is looking more and more dope. But I think Law is one of the more charismatic characters in the series, even when he attacks, right? Do you guys remember that radio knife he did on Trebo? One of the more beautiful attacks in the series when Law went upside down, and it's the same thing here. I mean, Law is just masterful and crafty and very shifty as well. So this is just a beautiful attack. Again, injection shot is basically Law has a needle and he's putting it in you. That sounded weird, but he has a needle and he's injecting you, right? So this is internal. And if you look at the panel, you can see the impact towards the back of Kaido. So essentially went through him. So it's Law's version of the Rakogan, if you want to say. So for Kaido, there's not much you can do with that. So I like Law trying different things because he's tried a lot of abilities on Big Mom and Kaido, and he's seeing what works. And at this point, injection shot, Kaido is bleeding from it. And like Kaido said, fighting someone with the OP no Mi, who has a wide range of abilities, mobility, internal destruction, it could rack up damage really quickly. Law used a new attack as well, Curtain, which could be a defensive ability where it could be a one-time thing, right? But I think Curtain is sustainable where it's not just for one attack. It lasts for a certain period of time. So then that goes back to how Law was able to take the Thunder Bagua and still be conscious. I mentioned Law and Zoro and their camaraderie, but I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Law, Kid, Killer, and Zoro, and how they've been working together while Luffy's been putting in work and been recovering, right? Even in this situation, Law saying this is not worth one of us dying, that was a bit scary for me because I don't like Law when he talks about dying, because I just think Oda just throws hints out there here and there, and then eventually Law is going to say, okay, now this is worth me dying, like on some endgame shit. And I hope that doesn't happen because he seems like the type of character to do something like that. Please, Oda, just let Law survive Wano. We need him in the story. I think overall people had been underrating some of the supernova, and now we're seeing when things aren't necessarily working against them, how amazing each of them can be. So right now, Kid and Killer are going to fight Big Mom. I'll come back to Kid a bit later, but I think it's really significant what's happening here, okay? Quickly with Big Mom and Zeus and Prometheus. I think what's gonna happen is that Big Mom is going to create a new homie, where Big Mom may amplify Prometheus and create a whole new homie, which essentially would make Prometheus stronger. I really can't wait to see what that would consist of. The clouds. So there are 2 or 3 theories. One is the obvious that it was Big Mom, and Big Mom is working on creating a new homie. That's why the clouds are shifting. The second is Luffy and Zoro using Conqueror's Haki, and before the clash, basically the clouds are responding to the Haki or the Conqueror's Haki users that are fighting right now. The third theory that I saw is that it's Dragon. Shut up. Whomever said that, shut up. But Luffy's doing the same thing. He's knocked out and he's glaring at Kaido even though he's knocked out. But one of the more hype moments of the chapter, and I think a lot of people's favorite moment of the chapter, or one of them because this chapter was packed with them, is us finally seeing Ashura 500 chapters later. So we haven't seen Ashura in quite a long time, and I'm excited Oda brought it back. I mean, 9-sword style, Zoro's strongest attack that we've seen him do pre-time skip, and it's just so amazing to see it again. The important thing here that we got to talk about is Zoro possibly having Conqueror's Haki, and the fact that it's still dormant or latent, that he doesn't even understand that he has it, is interesting. But I think there is another possible scenario that Zoro has a variant to Conqueror's Haki. Well, he actually has it, but he doesn't have the same disposition that Luffy has, where Zoro has the ability to overwhelm, but not in the same way Luffy can. So therefore, Zoro can coat his attacks with Conqueror's Haki, but he can't expel it the same way Luffy can. So I think Zoro 100% has Conqueror's Haki. I've made videos about it. I've said he has the qualities of a king, and so him being able to do something like this is very interesting and unique, where he doesn't have necessarily what Rayleigh can, and where he can knock out people, etc. But we didn't see Rayleigh coat his attacks in Conqueror's Haki. But again, that is old animation. Some things may be updated. So Zoro being a conqueror, I mean, I am just blown away, but it's expected of the Marimo. There's also a factor that Enma is bringing out everything that Zoro has at this point. So Zoro with the latent Conqueror's Haki, maybe after this moment, he'll be able to use it even better and understand the coding of it so his attacks can be even more amplified. I'm not gonna jump the gun and say Luffy can tell him exactly what, no, that doesn't happen, right? That just doesn't happen. Zoro will have to figure it out on his own. But I believe Kaido. Zoro has Conqueror's Haki. Is just a specific unique variant in which he can code his attacks. He just can't expel it the same way. Going back to Law tanking the Thunder Bagua, again, I think Curtain may have a long-lasting effect where it has a duration as opposed to a one-time quick thing. Luffy unlocking this ability to code his attacks in Conqueror's Haki is next level, and he is now ascended among the ranks of the top tiers, meaning the upper echelon top 10, top 15 people. The important thing here is to make a distinction between Conqueror's Haki and Advanced Armament, where Advanced Armament allows you to do things like this without touching, right? Conqueror's Haki is the lightning, the black lightning, and it's an amplifier. So everything Luffy's doing, the not touching thing, that's Advanced Armament. The black lightning, that's Advanced Conquerors. So Kaido can use Advanced Conquerors, but not Advanced Armament. Notice that I've stayed away from saying Ryo because that can be confusing. So Luffy right now is using Advanced Armament and Advanced Conquerors. We have to wait and see just how OP this is. But at this point, the combination seems to be an amplifier because it's internal destruction while not even touching him, along with what the Advanced Conquerors is doing. So seeing Law watch Luffy do this, it's like Odin watching Whitebeard and Roger go at it. However, Kaido can't do this Advanced Armament as far as we know so far. Even when he hit Luffy, he actually made contact. We didn't actually see it in the anime. He made contact. It wasn't a situation where he wasn't touching. We'll delve deeper into Advanced Conquerors because I think there's so much there that we can talk about. But Luffy right now, I don't think he's being arrogant, right? I think there's some arrogance, obviously, but I think this is the arrogance of a conqueror. So for him, he has to feel this way. This is how you get stronger. This is how you dominate. And so I'm loving it. Luffy, the 5th Yonko, no, I don't want to hear anything about it. This man has arrived. I think anybody seeing Luffy again, any of the Yonkos seeing Luffy again, other than Big Mom and Kaido, because they know what he brings to the table, they will be appalled. They will say, okay, Luffy has transcended and Luffy's officially a great pirate. I cannot wait for that Shanks and Luffy meeting. But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about this chapter? Amazing stuff. So like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Guys, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.